Okay, students, once again, I welcome you all. As you know, we already started the fourth semester, and till date, we could complete a couple of topics from the syllabus. One, the theory of translation. Two, a short story written by Munshi Premchand titled as Two Bullocks. Now, in this class, I'm going to start with another topic by Badal Sarkar. I hope you know, or else at least you might have heard the name of Badal Sarkar as a very prominent playwright in India. So already some study material I provided to you all, and the title that we are going to learn today is Beyond the Land of Hatamala. It is written by a prominent playwright, very constantly writing about Indian scenario, and the name of the author is Badal Sirkar. So the study material that I provided long back, I hope you might have ensured a copy in order to prepare at home to your convenience. And of course, in this class, I am going to talk about it. As far as Beyond the Land of Hatamala is concerned, it is originally Hatamalar Opare, that is Beyond Topsy-Turvy Land, written in 1977. And it is a light-hearted folk play, or you can even call it a fairy tale with a moral message at the end of the play. As a matter of fact, it is a close adaptation of Hatamalar Deshi, a novel written by Premendra Mitra and Leela Majumdar. Badal Sirkar puts an effort while writing his play based on this particular novel. And he recalls that he had read only a few of the Sandesh installments, and that had been enough to spark him off in order to write this play. when he mentions Sandesh in installments, means the novel is converted into a children's magazine, and Badal Sirkar once read it out and, of course, used it for writing his play. The theme of the play and the story in brief goes like this. Actually, it is the story of two young thieves, Kineram and Bicharam. Kena and Becha both are generally mentioned in short like this. And they jump into a river to escape being caught as they run away from the angry villagers after a robbery. Now you might have understood the action which is taking place in this play. Right in the beginning, you realize that you have a couple of characters, Kenaram and Becharam. As I said just before, both are mentioned as Kena and Becha in short. And they put an effort for a robbery in a village. But unfortunately, the villagers could notice their adventure and they started running after these two thieves. So finally they started running and both of them jumped into the water of the river in order to save themselves from the angry villagers. So after swimming for long, Kena and Becha find themselves in a new land which is totally unfamiliar to them. And probably now you might have understood the title of this play, that is Beyond the Land of Hajamala. So once they come to the land, they realize that it is totally unfamiliar to them, and it is as if a fairy tale or the world of a fairy tale with a beautiful garden. It is a world where peace and happiness and unity prevail. Crime, police, abuse, and aggression of all kinds are totally unknown to this world. So eventually, in this new land, buying and selling are alien concepts there in the fairy land. In the course of the play, here we realize that this is the land of something really very interesting and something beyond the expectations and understandings of a common man. Here, in this fairy land, all people work together in order to produce what the entire community of the place needs. The people are rather ignorant of the world, like money, cash, currency, shop, bargains, and so. Kena and Becha, both of them do not understand the concept of the no money or no cash kind of thing. Because already I told right in the beginning that these two are the thieves. And they are always in search of a wealthy family where they can steal something and live their life in a very lavish way and comfort. Once they are there in the fairy land where there is no word known to the people like money, cash, shop, etc., both of them felt very restless. And hence, several humorous misadventures follow as they make their journey through this land. Because time and again, they keep moving from one place to the other in the fairy land. They happen to meet number of people over there. But all of them are always busy doing some or the other work, not for the self, but for the community. But while having their journey through this land, Kena and Becha enjoy themselves with a sweet, tender coconut water, a full meal with chilled sweet yogurt, and perfectly ripe bananas, jackfruit, and whatever they really wanted to have, everything for free of cost. See here the situation. Nobody asked for money. Whatever they wanted to have, they had it to their satisfaction, and at the end, they need not pay anything in return. So this situation is really a very wonderful situation for them all. Both of them enjoyed a lot on this particular fairy land. Being thieves, Kena and Becha remain stick to their practice and make a hole through the wall of Iteri where they had their free meal. See, both of them, as I said, are the thieves. In fact, they were getting everything free of cost over there in the fairy land. But maybe because of their disposition, because of their everyday practice of stealing the things, that really compelled them to make a hole through the wall of the Iteri where they had free meal. Instead of being hungry, still they wanted to grab and collect. If you really remember the situation over there in the village, when they had an attempt of robbery, the robbery came to the notice of the villagers and villagers started running after them. But here you see the situations are totally different. When they made a hole in the wall of the Iteri, instead of being angry with them, the villagers consider them architects and praise them for their accuracy in making the hole. See the contradiction. In fact, both are the thieves. They made a hole in the wall or through the wall in order to steal something, in order to take away something from the Iteri. But when their attempt was noticed by the people of the fairy land, that is Hatamala, they started, appreciating their endeavors, and the people consider Kena and Becha as the architects and appreciated their accuracy in making the hole. They wonder why Kena and Becha have not used the front gate to enter and to take whatever they wanted to. The villagers of the fairy tale world were unable to understand why these two did not enter the premises from the main door, from the front side. Instead, they intruded from the back side and made a hole through the wall. Even in the jewelry shop, anything can be borrowed and can be used as long as one wants. No prohibitions, no restrictions. All the things in all the shops are free. Everybody will get a free access. Moreover, they are kept on open shelves for easy replacement. See the things here. I would say it's an open market where no money required. If at all, even you want to get some jewelry, go to the jewelry shop, pick up whatever you want, you can borrow it, you can use it as long as you want, even you can replace it to your will and wish. No restrictions at all. But even though these two thieves, Kena and Becha, instead of enjoying the situations over there, instead of enjoying the kind of atmosphere over there, they started stealing the things from different places. As a matter of fact, Kena and Becha remain totally confused and puzzled why the villagers do not get annoyed and angry with their adversities. Because whatever they were doing was against the principles of the society, against the rules and regulations of the society. But their, approach was always taken positively by the villagers. How all the things in this land are free of cost. This was the basic question that was really making Kena and Becha totally bewildered for long. They are totally confused and puzzled. They were unable to come to any conclusion. How is it possible that all shops are open to everybody? How is it possible that jewelry can be taken away by anybody, can be used by anybody free of cost, can be even replaced to one's will and wish? Everything free of cost. The wise doctor removes their confusion, telling them, no, it isn't really free. We all work to the best of our abilities. That's why we get everything we need. See now, they were unable to clear the confusion in their mind. As I said, their mind was totally puzzled. And this confusion was cleared once by a doctor. There is a wise doctor who removes the confusion in the mind of Kena and Becha. And what was the statement made by the doctor there? The doctor says, no, Kena and Becha, it isn't really free over here. We get everything free because we all work to the best of our abilities. That's why we get everything that we need. Both of them came to know that one has to work in life, and that too, that work in the workshop. So finally, the Thews obviously reform and get themselves busy with job. Becha works as a gardener, whereas Kena works as a builder. And that is how they realized the importance of work in life. So this is how the story goes on. So in my next class, I will talk about the critical appreciation and the appraisal of the play, and hope that you might have understood this particular theme and the brief story of Beyond the Land of Hathamala, written by Badal Sirkar. Thank you very much.